Hey guys, Jim here. Welcome into another Custom Knife Factory video. And there's going to be more to come actually. I have two more knives that I just received from them that I got to do a video on. But wow, the Rabbit, designed by Alexei Konygin, the same guy that brings you the Transformers Decepticon knives designs, has designed this one. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, I wasn't sure if this was really going to be for me or not. Here's why. I'm really not into long, very slim knives. And really the two exceptions I've made have been in Custom Knife Factory knives. Crazy shit, I know. And I've actually liked them both a lot. The Asymmetric, which was the brown one, and then the Sukhoi. This one's on a different level. When I picked this up initially, first I was surprised at the weight, because you really don't see how long and how big the knife really is. It's full titanium, really nicely milled titanium. But it was about this flipper tab and the action with this bearing pivot. You'll have a lot of knives that you'll want to kind of push button. I don't know that you can really push button this. You have some that you want to light switch. This is the best light switcher I've ever felt because of the angle. You're actually just pulling straight back. Yeah, that action is super quick, super smooth. You don't even want to hold it up here like this. You want to hold it extended in your hand because you want to feel the way that it's opening. It's crazy. I mean, yeah, you can choke up on it like you normally would and get up here and you see it's an absolute rocket. But there's something about this knife that I like holding it more extended in my hand and just bringing my finger all the way out and just feeling it pull back. This thing is crazy. It's a 4.05 inch blade. That's big. S35 VN steel, over 4 inches in length. 5.3 inch handle. Overall length when wide open, 9.4 inches. It's big. But here's the thing. It's super slender and it's fairly thin as well. So you've got a knife that, I don't know how to describe it. It's almost like holding a stick. It's not like holding, a big beefy knife. It's not like holding, the Decepticon. When you hold the Decepticon, it's this thick, beefy, meaty thing. And you see there's a huge difference here in the way that these are set up. It's crazy. Let's take a look starting at the blade. Ouch, that is very sharp. Wonderful grind on this. Unique, again, very slender, very slim. And if you stop looking at it like right about there, you almost think that you're going to be looking at a dagger grind, and then it drops down. Love how they've done this. Unique, different, great stone wash. Nice, even, clean. Love the aggressive lines here as these grinds intersect. It just looks really, really cool. Get up here to the pivot that's been used on the Asymmetric in the past and is now being used on the Decepticon 2. Then you have all this milled fluting. So they've beveled off these edges here, left a nice flat going down the middle for your design, and then they've milled in these flutes all the way around. Beautiful, clean machine work. And for a knife that's, what are these, $480? Under $500? Holy shit. And a full tie frame lock. And it's a very light bronze. When you first get it, you're not sure what color it is. And I'm not fucking with you. You're not sure. You're like, is it just a really dark tie or is there some bronze in there? And it really honestly takes you putting it up against another knife to go, oh yeah, yeah. And even there, it's not a huge difference. It's a really light bronze. Nice pocket clip, sculpted pocket clip, but it has the feel of a spring style pocket clip. So it's got that functionality, but it's obviously a little bit nicer. They've opened up the frame area here around the back spacer to allow you to thread through a paracord so that you can do a lanyard if you want. You would have to gut the paracord in order for it to fit through, I would think. Clean, minimal use of hardware. Get all the way up in there. Single row bearing system, very smooth, very, very fast. And that's something that that they've really focused on at Custom Knife Factory. They want to create these silky smooth and fast actions, just like if you were buying a full-on custom. And let's face it, when you're spending the money on the Decepticon, you damn well better get it, because that's, you know, that's over $1,000. The Decepticon 2. Now, while they've dropped the price from the 1 to the 2, and I'll discuss that when I make the video on this one, you're still spending premium custom knife money on that. By the way, don't go searching for that in purple. That was a one-off made for me. I already drove somebody else nuts on Instagram. It's like, I'm looking everywhere, I can't find it. Where is it? I'm like, you're never going to find it. That was made for me. But the standard one is done just like this. And, you know, now we're starting to see the exploration of the lower price points, like the Sequoia. That was their first super affordable. And now, and this little guy right here. And again, I'm going to be doing a video on all of these individually. It's called the Morph, by the way. So you have the sculpted titanium on the frame lock, sculpted G10. They also offer sculpted carbon fiber and full sculpted titanium. So now they're exploring making budget-friendly options, stuff that most everybody can afford. All of these are under 500 bucks. So let's break down why they're so inexpensive, shall we? That's a very important thing. Now, I do bring this up on every video, yet for some reason, in the comments section, you can tell people are not watching the video, they're just blabbing off, and they're going off like I've never discussed this. So once again, I'm going to be 100% clear. All the components that are being used on the knife are machined for them in China. That's where all the cost cutting is done. Very, very cost effective. They're doing all of the machining in China, in a very high-end factory, but it's still being done in China. Then all the components are being shipped to Russia, where they're doing all of the hand fitting and all of the final assembly. Listen, you're not going to get this level at 200 bucks. You're not going to get this level strictly out of China. It really takes the work that these guys are putting into it to create what they have created. The precision, the tight tolerances, the craftsmanship overall, the fit and finish is astounding. And I've yet to hear from anybody on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, that's gotten their hands on any model of knife by these guys and had any complaints. Nobody has said the fit and finish isn't up to par. Nobody has said it's not worth the money I spent. Nobody has said it's anything negative. Nothing. So to the naysayers out there that just want to go, well, they're made in China. They're all 100% made in China. They're not. And even if they were, it doesn't matter, because the quality is there. It's been proven over and over and over. I certainly wouldn't have this many in my collection if the quality wasn't there. And when it comes to a knife like this, I'll put this up next to any $1,000 custom out there. It will hold its own. When it comes to these guys here, especially, again, focusing on the Rabbit, it's so ridiculously affordable for what you're getting. This would be a good $600 to $800 from any custom maker, period. If this were a mid-tech being offered by a custom maker, it wouldn't have quite the same detail work and finish work, but if it were, you're looking between $500 and $600. So these guys are still putting it out for a little bit less than anybody else would. That's what's so great. And for those wondering, why is it called the Rabbit? Because you look at it and there's nothing rabbit-like about it. Alexi actually sent me a message a couple days after I got the knife. And he says, are you curious as to where the name comes from? I'm like, yeah, I have no friggin' clue. He says, I named it this way because I felt it had such sexy lines. I wanted to name it after Roger Rabbit's girlfriend, Jessica Rabbit. So that's why it was called the Rabbit. There you go. And it is beautiful. It does have sexy flowing lines. And yeah, it's that smooth. You want to be careful. You're going to drop it on your thumb if you don't watch out. All the way around. The work is fantastic. Easily worth the money. It's hard to say if these are ever going to go up in value, if they're ever going to appreciate. There's no way to know. But at least everything is a limited edition. Let me give you that number right there. So mine is number 5 out of 500 being made. Every single knife that they're doing is a numbered limited edition. I don't know about the Morph. I don't see any place where it's numbered. Nope. Oh, no, it is. They're only making, looks like 120 of the Morph. And again, that'll be a separate video. The Decepticon 2, that'll be a separate video. And quickly, because people are asking me, if you just want to know, the only thing that you want to know about this is, do I like this better than the 1? I still prefer the number 1, the Decepticon 1, because it's a little thicker, it's a lot heavier, and I slightly prefer the grind on the number 1. But the 2 is still pretty damn kick-ass. So if you're looking at it going, well, it's almost $300 cheaper than buying an original Decepticon, will I like it as much? Chances are you probably will. So there you go. And whenever that 20-minute video uploads, that's still going to be the same sentiment that you're going to get out of it. Anyway, back to the Rabbit. It's not my style of knife typically. I found myself carrying it a couple of times already this week since I got it. I'm very, very impressed with it. It's got a really, really long reach. I mean, that's a big-ass blade. It's a very long, slender handle. And you can actually drop back here. It's kind of like having a Halo, you know, like a Halo 3, Halo 5, where they have all these different grip configurations for you to have it further out in your hand and you can hold on to it. This is kind of like that because of the way that this frame flows. I can get even more reach and still feel I have a secure hold on this. In a reverse grip, it's a little bit long this way. I'd have to bring it out to wrap my thumb around it, which again gives you more reach. But in that particular instance, I don't know that you really want too long of a reach. I think overall it's a fantastic knife. It may be a little skinny for some people's hands. I've said that about the asymmetric as well. It's a very slim, skinny knife. If you like the idea of this kind of length and these kind of swooping lines, but you need it to be a little bit thicker, grab a Sequoia. The Sequoia is going to be a little bit thicker with the carbon fiber and titanium wrapping around. So it's got a little bit more to fill your hand up. And it's ridiculously smooth as well. It's just not a flipper. They are considering making a flipper variation in the future, however. So yeah, if you're seeing these pop up on Knife Center, you're seeing these pop up on GP Knives, and you've been wondering, is it worth it? Yeah, I would definitely grab one. If you like the design, if you like the style, then I personally think that you're going to fall madly in love with it when you pick it up and flip it. It's going to completely sell you. So yeah, you don't have to order directly from Russia anymore and pay that $60 in shipping and wait a week to 2 weeks for it to show up. You can get it a lot more quickly by going to gpknives.com, by going to knifecenter.com. And I think they're probably going to open up some more retailers here in the future, but those are the two guys to go to. And they're both great. I've dealt with both of them, done business with both of them. They're both fantastic retailers that care about their customers. So you're going to get the right prices. You know, it's the same price that you would buy it direct for without paying the extra shipping. So it's a nice little saving 60 bucks. And again, if you're on a budget, you know, and you're keeping yourself down below 500 bucks, that $60 is a big difference to you, you know? So there you have it, guys. The Rabbit by Custom Knife Factory, Alexei Konygin design. Super sleek, super sexy. Great belly in that blade, which actually means you can use this knife for occasional work. It's easy to carry because it's slim. It slides right into the pocket, but it is long. Keep that in mind. It's a very long knife. Even when it's folded up, it's about 5.5 inches long. So, you know, that is something to consider. The more I look at it, the more I love the details. The more I love that millwork. Just super clean. Not overly designed, but nice. I don't know that the asymmetric pivot really fits this design. Be perfectly honest with you. I think that maybe a plain pivot or a pivot with some of these kind of mill marks in it would have been a little bit better. I think it kind of feels like an afterthought. That's really the only thing that I can knock. So that's the original knife that it came off of, and here's why. Because you had the asymmetric lines going through it, so they did the same thing in the pivot. And they're sort of replicating it here in the Decepticon too, but it's just a single line, so I'm okay with that. I'm just not sure I'm okay with it here. See what I'm saying? It's a little busy for this very clean design, but I don't think it's a deal breaker. Man, look at that precision. These guys are doing incredible work. All right, I'm going to get off of here for now. I've got a few more videos I need to get done so I can kind of catch up and relax a little bit. And until then, I'll see you guys on the next video.